Hey parents, don't worry, I'm keeping kayfabe on Elf on the Shelf. And kids, if you're watching and your parent has told you that they didn't have an elf when they were growing up, well, I know that they did, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
You watch as I try to do as I should. At night you tell Santa the news is all good. Elf on the shelf, the elf on the shelf.
The Elf on the Shelf, a Christmas tradition book, includes Santa's scout elf.
In 2005, Carol Abersole and her daughter Chandra Bell put out this book, The Elf on the Shelf. This tells the story about how kids can name their elf and that these are living elves and they fly back to the North Pole every single night to report back to Santa Claus. Most people didn't know the story behind the elves until 2007 when Jennifer Garner was spotted and photographed by paparazzi carrying the Elf on the Shelf. Then Elf on the Shelf appeared on the Today Show.
1, 2, 3. Are you familiar with Elf on the Shelf? The folks behind the successful Elf on the Shelf empire have a new spin on the tradition of writing letters to Santa.
And soon everybody was dying to get their hands on one. But you don't touch it, all right? Just make sure you know that. I think you can put cinnamon on them if you do, but just don't touch them. Now, before this book came out, most adults didn't know about the elves. And the reason was the elves are very good at hiding. Plus, the elves happen to look like a very common Christmas decoration. When they sit still, they looked a lot like the vintage tree hugger elves. These were released in the 1960s by a company called Yuletide of Japan, and lots of people had these little plastic elf toys all over their Christmas tree.
Get in touch with Thrill, the one that softens water.
This is Thrill dish detergent. You may not have heard of it. They haven't made it since 1976, but there was a time where Procter & Gamble put out this dish detergent, and every year they would have a special promotion for Christmas. This particular year, you could get little animals, and there you can see a little elephant. One year, Thrill had pixies. Now, this was just a stuffed toy with a plastic head, but it looked a lot like the Elf on the Shelf. Interesting to note, they didn't call this an elf. This was a pixie. There were other brands that made knee hugger elves, and so lots of people had them in their house. Look at this guy. That's a decoration. Now, since Elf on the Shelf came out, there have been a lot of parodies. Trump on the Stump. Mensch on a Bench. In 2012, Elf on the Shelf appeared in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The Elf on the Shelf also has had Christmas TV specials and a live stage musical. So if you're an older person and you think, well, I don't remember this, was an elf watching you? They definitely were.
The elf on the shelf, where can you be? I pop out of bed each morning